Essay number 57, 50 people on the most liberating thought they've ever had. Let me tell you about the moment that changes everything. You know the one. You're reading something, or someone says something, or you're just sitting there and suddenly, click. A thought hits you so hard you have to put down whatever you're holding and just stare at nothing for a minute. And in that moment, your entire life reorganizes itself around this new truth. These aren't just positive thoughts or motivational quotes. These are liberation moments. The kind where you suddenly understand why you've been stuck in the same pattern for years. The kind where you finally see the cage you built for yourself and realize you've been holding the key the entire time. Here's what I've learned. Your life improves in direct proportion to how often you're forced to seek a greater truth. Comfortable people don't grow. They don't have to. It's a cruel joke of human nature that we only change when not changing becomes more uncomfortable than changing. We're literally designed to stay stuck until staying stuck hurts too much. I know this because my greatest successes have been directly proportional to my worst suffering. Every breakdown led to a breakthrough. Every moment I thought would destroy me was actually reconstructing me into someone stronger. And the most liberating thought I've ever had? I wouldn't change any of it. Not the darkest moments, not the most self-destructive patterns, not the times I completely fell apart. They all brought me here. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. You're not crazy. You're the product of your circumstances. You're responding exactly how any normal, healthy person would respond to your specific situation. Those times you didn't have it together, that was your soul rejecting a life that wasn't meant for you. Your breakdowns weren't failures. They were your inner wisdom saying no to a path that would have killed your spirit. Think about how incredible that is. We can know something is wrong even when we have no idea what right looks like. We can feel the wrongness in our bones even when everyone around us is telling us we should be grateful, should be happy, should just accept it. That discomfort you feel? That's not weakness. That's your internal GPS recalculating because you're headed somewhere you're not meant to go. So I asked 49 strangers to share the most liberating thought they've ever had, the revelation that set them free, the moment everything clicked, and what they shared might just be the key that unlocks your cage too. Someone realized I get to choose what I think about. Just that. The simple revolutionary idea that the voice in your head isn't your boss, it's your employee, and you can fire it whenever you want. Another person discovered, I don't owe anybody an apology for disagreeing with them. How many years of your life have you spent apologizing for having different opinions, for seeing the world differently, for not fitting into someone else's narrative of who you should be? Here's one that hit me hard. You can have everything you want, just not at the same time. We're so obsessed with having it all that we forget if we had everything at once, we couldn't actually experience any of it fully. The limitation isn't a bug in the system. It's the feature that makes life actually worth living. Someone else realized, you can choose your family, you can choose your religion, you can choose who you are every single day, and it doesn't have to be the same person you were yesterday. You are not obligated to remain the person other people are comfortable with. You're not required to stay small so others feel big. My life does not define me, I define my life. This moment is not my life, this is a moment in my life. Think about that. This terrible day, this awful year, this decade of struggle, it's not your life. It's a chapter, and chapters end. Everything I perceive is a projection of who I am. This one's uncomfortable because it means that person who drives you crazy, they're showing you something about yourself you haven't dealt with. That situation that keeps repeating, that's your unhealed wound playing out in real time. Freedom is a state of mind, not a bank balance, not a relationship status, not a geographic location. You can be in prison and be free. You can have millions and be trapped. Freedom happens the moment you realize the cage was never locked. There are so many kinds of love worth pursuing other than romantic love. There are so many experiences to have other than just happiness. We've been sold this narrow definition of a successful life. Find the one, be happy, the end. But what about the love between friends? The satisfaction of mastery, the beauty of melancholy, the growth that comes from difficulty? Anything other than ideal is not failure. It's life. I am a person of value. I deserve happiness. I deserve to be kind to myself. I deserve love. Some of you just heard that and immediately thought, but that but is where your work is. I will get over what I'm struggling with the same way I got over the other things I thought I never could. You've already survived 100% of your worst days. You have a perfect track record. Why would this be different? You don't remember years, you remember moments. So stop trying to have a perfect year and start collecting perfect moments. I'm not supposed to be anything other than what I am. You're not behind. You're not ahead. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, learning exactly what you need to learn. Nothing is permanent, not even the worst feelings. That crushing despair that feels like it will last forever, it won't. It literally can't. Your brain isn't designed to maintain any single emotional state indefinitely. I can change my experience just by deciding to see things differently. You might not control what happens to you, but you absolutely control the story you tell yourself about what happens to you. And that story, that's your actual life. Nobody cries at a funeral because the world lost another pretty face. They cry because the world lost another soul. Stop obsessing over your shell and start developing what actually matters, creating something that lasts beyond your body. People don't love you based on a comparison chart. The prettiest, richest, most successful people aren't the most loved. They don't live the best lives. Love isn't a competition you win, it's a connection you create. The moment is all that exists. The past is memory. The future is imagination. This second, right now, as you're hearing these words, this is the only thing that's real. And you're missing it because you're thinking about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. Whatever comes, comes with reason. Whatever stays, stays with reason. Whatever hurts, hurts with reason. Fighting the effect won't fix the cause. Your pain is trying to teach you something. Are you listening? What you focus on expands. Worry about problems, get more problems. Look for beauty, find more beauty. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Your brain literally filters reality based on what you tell it is important. This too shall pass. The most powerful 4 words in any language. Nothing lasts. Not the good, not the bad, not the confusing in between. Everything is temporary, which means your current suffering has an expiration date. What I went through made me who I am. What I'm going through will make me who I will be. Your circumstances don't decide your future. Your response to your circumstances does. Here's one that stopped me cold. There is always a way, even when it least feels like it. There are apartments available right now in cities you've never been to. There are flights leaving in the next hour to places you've always wanted to go. There are people you haven't met yet who will love you exactly as you are. You're never stuck. You're just in the mindset that you are. There's no grand moment in life where you wake up and say, I've made it. Happiness isn't a destination you arrive at. It's the quality of your journey. Always has been, always will be. The purpose of being here is growth, not happiness, not success, growth, which means every difficult experience is actually your life working perfectly, giving you exactly what you need to become who you're meant to be. The worst things that happened to me were preparing me for wonderful things I couldn't even imagine. Your breakdown is set up for your breakthrough. Your plot twist is coming. You haven't failed until you've stopped trying. Failure isn't falling down. Failure is staying down. I don't have to adopt other people's problems as my own to help them. Their emergency is not automatically your emergency. Their chaos doesn't have to become your chaos. You don't have to be loved by everybody to be worthy of love. Read that again. You don't need universal approval. You need the right people's appreciation. You teach people how to treat you. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you're training people that it's okay to give you less than you deserve. My only regret in my entire life is that I didn't enjoy it more. Imagine being on your deathbed and realizing you spent your whole life preparing to live instead of actually living. The things I'm meant to have will simply come to me. Stop chasing, start attracting. What's meant for you won't miss you. Don't take anything too seriously. Nobody gets out alive anyway. We're all going to die. That's not morbid, that's liberating. It means most of what you're stressed about literally doesn't matter. I cannot change those around me. Real change happens one person at a time, starting with the only person you actually have control over, yourself. Wisdom is knowing that you don't and will never really know anything. We used to think the earth was flat. What do we believe now that future generations will laugh at? Stay humble, stay curious, stay open to being completely wrong about everything. I am infinite. If your soul is eternal, then what are you doing with it right now? Why are you playing small with something that has no expiration date? Even if you abandon faith, hope, and love, they don't leave you. They're not feelings you have. They're what you're made of. I am made of love and light. Everything else is simply a disconnect. You don't need to become something better. You need to remember what you already are. When you step into a library, all the knowledge in the world is before you. When you wake up each day, all the possibility in the world is too. You choose whether you see books or see worlds. You choose whether you see another day or see another chance. I am always one choice away from changing everything. One conversation, one decision, one moment of courage. That's all that stands between you and a completely different life. If I choose not to be upset, then I don't feel upset. If I don't feel upset, then I haven't been harmed. Your emotional response is not automatic. It's a choice, and that choice determines your entire experience of life. There is immeasurable joy in the small things: a great book, fresh vegetables, a warm bed, someone's arms around you. These things our culture barely values. They're probably the most joy we're ever going to have. In a few hundred years, most of us will be completely forgotten. That's not depressing. That's liberating. It means you're free to fail, free to be weird, free to live exactly as you want, because in the end, it won't matter to anyone but you. I don't have to be what other people see me as. Their perception of you is not your responsibility. Their opinion of you is not your identity. And finally, you're going to be okay. Not because someone said so, but because okay is where we all end up, even if we mess up entirely along the way. Look, every conscious thought you have either keeps you trapped in the same mental loop or it sets you free from it. These 50 thoughts? They're keys. And somewhere in here is the one that opens your particular cage. The question isn't whether you'll have your liberation moment. The question is whether you'll recognize it when it arrives. Whether you'll be brave enough to let it change you. Whether you'll allow yourself to be free. Because here's the thing about cages. Most of them are built from the inside, which means you already have everything you need to escape. You just have to remember that you're the one holding the key.